Are Democrats out of touch on this issue?
Well, I think if you did the polling in Los Angeles, I'm not sure it would be that way, considering we are a city of immigrants. And then people might approve that policy. But do people really approve the federal government coming in and seizing power from a state and from a city? So I drill down a little further on that poll, because I do not believe that Americans support the federal intervention in a city takeover or a state takeover.
Let's bring in foreign editor at The Australian, Greg Sheridan. Greg, what do you make of what we're seeing at the moment in the United States? It's not like civil unrest is a unique thing to LA and to this moment in time. We've seen it over many years at various times in the United States. But what's your analysis of where things are at right now under the Trump administration?
Well, that's right, Kieran. LA is a city of sporadic riots and quite a violent city anyway. The Los Angeles Police Department kind of runs a paramilitary operation at the best of times. Look, I think Trump's raids by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement people may have been a little more public than in the past, but the Democratic office holders in California are basically defying the law. They're basically saying they don't want immigration law enforced. The mayor says there wouldn't be this trouble if Trump didn't have his ICE raids. Well, there are at least 12 million illegal immigrants in the United States, probably vastly more than that. And Trump was elected very specifically with a platform that he would shut the border down on the south and that he would deport illegal immigrants. An illegal immigrant is someone who has no legal right to be in the United States. Barack Obama deported 400,000 illegal immigrants in 1 year. But it was okay when he did it. And both the Democratic governor, Gavin Newsom, and the mayor of Los Angeles are saying that Trump has to stop these immigration raids. What they mean is he has to stop the enforcement of American immigration law. And this is a profound crisis across all Western societies, where courts and similar bodies are trying to stop governments from deporting people who are in those places illegally. So America has a great tradition of legal immigration. Hispanics voted for Trump in higher proportions last time, partly because they don't like illegal immigration either.
The problem is, Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've spent a lot of time there, much more than I have, but I've certainly seen over the years and heard when being in the United States, not just in California, but elsewhere, that illegal immigrants form a pretty important part in that economy. That's a fundamental shift that they've got to try and grapple with, surely, at the moment. I get the point you're making, and it obviously makes a lot of sense, but in the US for years, haven't they relied on illegal immigrants for a lot of the labour that Americans won't do?
Well, you're absolutely right, Kieran. I mean, part of the traditional strength of the US economy was that it was a first world economy sitting on some third world cost structures, because illegal immigrants were typically not paid legal wages and so forth. And I mean, 30 or 40 years ago, every congressman in America, in Washington, had an illegal Hispanic nanny working in the House. But this is where I say the whole illegal immigration thing is a breakdown of democracy and a breakdown of the rule of law. Because what you're really saying then is that the economy, in order to function, has to rely on employers and individuals breaking the law. And what's happening in Los Angeles, of course, is not concerned with the economics of low, cheap labour, which can be exploited for American economic advantage on the farms or in the factories. It's the fact that, folks don't want to be sent home. But that's, I'm always been pro-immigration myself, 100%, but it has to be legal immigration. And if Trump is defeated in this, that probably means the effective defeat of American immigration law. And this crisis is tearing Europe apart at the moment, tearing Europe apart. And Trump has controlled the border, But of course, people can just fly in and overstay their visa, as they're doing in Australia in huge numbers. And that means that section of society is beyond the rule of law. And the governor of California and the mayor of Los Angeles are essentially calling for American law not to be enforced. That's a new position by the centre-left in Western societies. As I say, Barack Obama deported far more people than Trump ever did. The centre-left used to believe in the rule of law and the enforcement of borders. And then within that, of course, you should have a big, generous immigration program, including a big refugee intake.